Lockdown, restrictions, cancelled flights, quiet airports, and empty planes. This is what the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic through the vision of the travelers and the aviation industry. The effect is visible in the airport's connectivity in the figure in the year 2019 to the flights during 2020. The outbreak of caused the largest global recession in many industries. However, the study embarks that the aviation sector is one of the among industries that hit the hardest, such as decrease in passenger demand, flight bans, halt among airlines, season between the operation or grounded entire fleets, closed runways or simply shut down and layoffs of the employees. The main goal of the study is to help aviation to prepare for a post-COVID-19 that includes its issues, challenges, impacts, and the recommendation to gauge and outweigh the spread of the pandemic through more than 100 scientific paper or literature involved in the study. On the section 2, the global air transportation system considered as a system transmission medium for disease spreading. With that being said, as the air travel has the potential to be the significant driver in the spread of the airborne diseases, and this proves the viruses such as Ebola virus, SARS, MERS-CoV, H1N1, influenza, and not only that but also the 9/11 attacks and other global crises that had happened in the past. Also, between March 20 and May 2020, the flight suspensions occurred in international and domestic flights. In those months, it is considered as the least number of flights in the recent history of the air transportation. But most of the countries have gone through on reopening the flights, and that only brings challenges to the aircraft usage. Thus, the use of the recent or accurate passenger or flight data to make projection about the potential spreading of the COVID-19 pandemic, and this includes the East Asian countries, based on the study given in order to successfully navigate the paper hurricane on this important subject.
In today's situation wherein coronavirus is actively present and rapidly spreading across the world, it is observable that our air transport system was greatly affected together with the whole tourism and hospitality industry. In lieu of that, here are some of the impacts on passenger-centric flight experience during this time of COVID-19 in terms of airport screening, airport boarding, and in-flight experience. All airports now have been operating with a new set of guidelines and policies which are implemented for every stakeholder's safety as mandated also by the International Air Transport Association or the IATA. As it was reported that passengers are prone to virus, airport processes become now more hassle and decisive as it entails new screening requirements. Nevertheless, this new set brought a very crucial situation for the airport management across they needed to keep the expectation of the passengers for a more pleasing experience but keeping the low price. And lastly, the in-flight experience. Because passengers spend so much time in an enclosed airplane cabin, there is a considerable danger of infectious illness transmission within the plane during the journey. A formal understanding of how likely a transmission in an aircraft cabin is during a flight is lacking, which we all know. So in general, proving in-flight infections is a difficult task, given that true in-flight illnesses could only be detected 3 days after the journey. As airlines are profit-driven, they are having difficulty adhering to COVID-19 preventive guidelines. They are tempted to maintain flight services in order to keep passenger demand high, despite potential risks to safety and health.
The long-term impact on aviation were also discussed and tackles about the issue of airline finances and how governmental aids have the potential to shift the aviation landscape for years ahead. Another is the passenger demand prediction, wherein reviews on the literature on passenger demand estimation for a post-COVID-19 world. And lastly is the list of challenges and future trends in the long term on aviation. Several directions of future studies on the transportation sector were laid in hopes that massive efforts should be taken into action and focus on the industry. Several directions of future studies on the transportation sector were laid in hopes that massive efforts should be taken into action and focus on the industry. A total of 10 future directions are stated, which are making richer datasets available to the community, further disease-specific adaptation of models, verification of results in real air transportation environments, tolerable service performance of passengers under COVID-19, the role of international collaboration, planning the future of travel bubbles, cargo focus as midterm solution, understanding the long-term impact and chances for deglobalization and environment, long-term impact and alternatives to government support on competition, and last is the holistic approaches for reducing the impact of future pandemics. It is with high hopes that these future scientific directions will successfully lead in helping aviation to prepare for a post-COVID-19 world.
At the airport.
I'm already here. Are you all in the airport now?
Yes, I'm at the airport right now.
Hello? OMG! Wait for me!